What's going on, guys? Jesse here with MFC Offroad. Want to show you guys our first video in our new MFC garage section in our new location. Today we're going to be working on this beautiful 5th gen Tahoe. This upgrade that we're going to be doing is capable of being used on a Tahoe and Suburban, and it is the amber grill inserts, which lock right into these sections right here on the grill. And we're going to show you how you take this top assembly off, install them, wire them right to the battery, also to the fuse box. You're going to get two options when you do this install. You could use the harness that we give you, which gives you a switch that you can run to the interior of your vehicle, or you can tap off of one of the fuses. That fuse is usually known as an upfitter fuse. Since these vehicles are predominantly used in police departments, that upfitter fuse gives anybody the ability to tap onto it and have the lights turn on when the vehicle turns on and have the lights turn off when the vehicle turns off. So you don't have to worry about using the switch inside, even though we do give you that option. But super simple installation, and we're gonna get at it. So take a look. So real quick before we start, we just want to go over everything that comes in the package for you and the tools necessary for the installation. So you do have your 4-lead harness right here. 3 of the leads will be used. That 4th lead is used for an additional item that we are developing as we speak. The 3 inserts with the LEDs already installed. You'll notice that there's 2 different styles. If you take a look, there is a angled one. This is your center part. This goes in the center of the grill. And these 2 flat ones go on the sides. These are also spade connectors that you get to install on these wires after you slide these through the grill opening, because the grill opening is extremely small, and with these already installed, it would not slide through. So these get installed after you install these onto the grill. You're going to have a T10 Torx. This is used to remove the latch that opens up the hood. A couple of these items you can find on Amazon, but these are basically your clip retaining tab removing devices. And some wire snippers and some wire crimpers, so you can tighten this down around the wires after you install them. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this lever plastic handle piece. This gets in the way when you want to remove this and lift it up. So this is where you're going to use your Torx tool. It's a T10, remember? So I'm just going to remove these 2 screws right here. Put them to the side, make sure you don't lose them. This slides right off. And then we're going to remove all of these little tabs right here along the top. This one's missing from the front end being removed when this vehicle's motor was replaced. That's a 6.2, so if anybody knows, those 6.2s had some slipping bearings. Motor went, from what I remember, from what I was told, was around 59,000 miles, so just under the warranty period. But still didn't get that replaced. But you're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these clips to be removed. If you don't have one of these specialty tools, it's okay. All you have to do is use a flathead screwdriver and get under it. There's basically 2 levels. There's a little notch kick out that you can see right there. You put your flathead tool right there, lift up, and then you can lift it right out just like that. You'll see from these 2 specialty tools how that's done. Basically get under it like this, lift it up just like that, and then pops right out just like that. If this separates from here, no worries. You're just going to put it right back in, just like that. When removing this, it's basically going to slide straight up and out, just like so. This gives you full access to the back side, so when you slide these pieces in, you're able to have the wire come out the side and put on the spade terminals. My OCD likes to basically have all the wires come out the left because the wires will go from this side all the way over to the battery. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this wire, slide it through this very thin groove. These wires are already marked with a red on it, so you know that's your positive. This goes all the way through like this. And these are designed to snap in super tight. So you're going to push in like so. Lock it in. When doing this installation, we found that once you get it locked in, it won't move side to side because the way that the retention tabs are, so it locks into the perfect dimension of that opening. But when you're pushing it in, you want to start on the smaller side and then push in to the thicker side. So now moving on to the middle, I'll show that again. Starting over here, like that. Just like that. And last but not least, your last flat one. Get it lined up. Just like so. On the harness that we provide for you, it's a 4-lead harness. So you're going to see that there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 of these will be used. Basically, you're going to have it come to the back side of here and run to this light right here, to this light in the middle, and this light in the front. There's a 4th lead that you can leave on this side, tucked away. That lead will eventually come and power a Z71 replacement illuminated LED badge, which we are currently working on, and fitment will be perfect. You take the old Z71 badge off and you snap it in, and this will be an illuminated Z71, so you could have a Z71 illuminated at night along with your 3 amber Grille lights. For wiring of the harness, you'll continue to use the relay. Positive and negative to the battery, your negative terminal all the way in the back over here. Your positive will be inside here. We'll show you how you take this off and get it to the battery. There's a couple of distribution posts inside here that you can marry to. And then also on the switch, you can run this switch to the inside of the vehicle. Right behind the coolant overflow tank, where that reservoir is, there is a firewall that allows you to run wires through. You'll see the main harness, which is the larger one that goes directly through the center. And then to the lower left-hand side, there's a little nipple that is probably at your 7 o'clock position, you'll just open up that nipple real quick and slide the wires through, which you can gain access to from underneath above the brake pedal. Like I mentioned earlier, your positive is marked. This is your negative. You're going to pull those two little tabs off the end, and we're actually going to give ourselves a little bit more wire. So you're going to use your wire snippers and expose a little bit more wire. Just like so. And then we're going to start using these spade connectors. Put them on, crimp them down, and what I like to do, since this is such a small wire, it's a 20 gauge, that's why I gave myself a little bit more wire. I like to fold it back, so when you crimp down, you're able to crimp down on more wire. So we're going to take this, put it over. You'll see inside the wire come through just enough. And then you're going to take your wire crimping tool, squeeze down on it, just like this. Make sure you have a nice solid connection. Good way to test is if you pull this off, that means it's not good. Do the same with the other one. Make sure you see that wire coming through. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now, if you have the capabilities, we're showing you this for the average installer, but you could also put a little bit of heat shrink tube onto the wire before you crimp this down. This way, when you want, after it's crimped down, you can slide that heat shrink tube over so it locks onto this and this. These are heat shrinkable plastics, so you can use a heat shrink hot gun. If you don't have that, you can always just use some electrical tape and tape this off for a solid connection as well. So we use some electrical tape just to close it up. Got the leads already zip tied to this structure under here. There's plenty of spaces that you can use for tying off with some zip ties. Keep this nice and tight to the backside so it's not flopping around in the wind. Once you tape this off, it's obviously you're going to be covering up that red line. So just so you know, it is also marked with the white line along the entire wire. That is your positive. And then you're just going to put it right in to the connection. Positive. And then your negative. Just like so. And then these, you'll just clean up and zip tie it right here. So again, it's not flopping around. You'll continue this process all the way down the line. We did our passenger first. Next is the center. Then we'll do the driver next. So we've got everything wired in. All the connections are on their terminals. Zip tied nice and neat to the wire harness that is also zip tied to this support. If you've got any extra wire, also zip tied to your horn bracket. And we have everything else running all the way over here. Right here is where we tuck the relay to. There's a little bracket right here that you could zip tie it or screw it to with the tab. So we have the relay right there. And then our positive runs underneath here in the gap to your terminal right there. There's a post right there that you can use your circular terminal and marry it to. So that is your positive. And then the negative can go to your accessory negative terminal right there, which is right here. That right there. So your negative and positive. Always remember too, before you wire everything, just to disconnect your negative terminal. That way you don't have any electricity flowing through the system, because there is some residual battery power in the lines, and you also don't want to short anything out, because if you short it out, then you will also blow the fuse that comes with it. So everything is nice and neat in here. And if you choose to run your switch, like we said, you'll run the switch to the interior of the cabin through the firewall grommet, but you can also tie it off to a fuse that is in here using a fuse tap. And that fuse tap location is F39, I believe. Might not be F39, but it just might say 39. Ours said F39, but I can give you a picture of that location. 39 is going to be right here. That, if you look at the legend on the inside cover, is going to say upfitter. That is usually where a lot of police departments will run their power. So if you go to 39 right there, it says upfitter 10 amp. And the good thing about these lights is they don't even draw 1 amp combined, so you don't have to worry about that. Your fuse tap will go right into there. You'll take the fuse that's normally in there, put it in one location. In the second location, we also just use another 10 amp because those were readily available. And then if you want to use the fuse tap, on the harness that you are given with the switch, there's 3 wires. There's a ground, a constant, and a secondary illumination LED, so the switch will illuminate when it is on. You're going to use the red wire if you want to use the fuse tap. So you'll cut all the other wires and use the red wire for that. So fuse tap to the red wire that will be found on the harness that is for the switch. And that way, when the vehicle is on, that fuse tap gets power, sends the signal through that switch wire to the relay. Relay opens and provides power to your Grille lights. So we're going to put this shroud support back on. This cover is basically going to go in the same way that you took it off. Slides right down. Make sure it's nice and seated. We're going to take our clips, put them back in. You're going to take the larger portion first, snap it in, push that down, that locks it in. And you'll do that to all of them. This way your cover shroud stays locked in. Give it a little help if you need to. And again, if these fall out, it's okay. You just push them in like so. The nice thing about this installation is the way that these lights were designed is to give the vehicle an OEM plus look. So unlike the ones that are the universal style ones that you can grab on Amazon, that you have to really figure out how you're going to mount them, where you're going to mount them, if it's reliable or not. These were designed specifically for this vehicle, and it gives it that OEM plus look, form, and finish. all the clips are in. Then we're going to take the 2 remaining T10 screws, slide your bracket back on, take the screws, make sure you don't drop them into this small little cavity. That is a pain in the butt if you do, so I like to start them first. Get them nice and snug, don't over tighten them. And then you're good to go. In this video, you probably have seen a lot of other accessories on this vehicle. So just to touch on them, you'll see what we have in here, and you'll be able to also know that a following up video will be shown for everything that is also on here. So you can see that we do have fog lights, so our Z71 fog lights are on this. GM did not make fog lights available for the 5th gen Tahoes or Suburbans, so we found a solution to do that. So we have them for a Z71 as well as the non-Z71. This is our patent pending D-ring shackle conversion. More info for that coming up. Other than that, we have our brackets right here that give you the ability to run A-pillar ditch light brackets that mount to your factory hood pieces. And other than that, preliminary testing on a wireless switch center, a 6-bank switch center, so you don't have to run any wires through the firewall. This is 100% wireless, controllers inside with a customized mount. And there's probably some other things that we have on this vehicle that we have yet to debut, but following up, there will be videos for each one of those items. So make sure you give us a subscribe, hit that like button, give us a follow, and you'll be able to see all these accessories installed on your Tahoe, which is either a Z71 or a Suburban.